Okay, so today's video is going to be block practice versus variable practice. And this is a somewhat highly debated topic right now in the golf instructional world. And just let me give you a real quick breakdown of the difference between the two. Block practice would be where you're going to hit, let's say, one or two different clubs in the same spot to the same target repetitively over and over and over for your continuous allotted time that you've given to practice. So let's say you're going to go out for an hour and hit balls. You would hit balls almost the same shot over and over again to a particular target, maybe because you're working on a particular modification or change to your swing. Variable practice would be where you modify the variables throughout your practice allocated time session. So again, if you're going to practice for an hour, let's say every 5 balls you're going to change the type of shot that you hit, or you're going to change a variable. So you're either going to change the target, you're going to change the distance you hit it, you're going to change the trajectory, either up or down or left or right. Whatever the variable is, you're going to change it, let's say every 5 shots or every 10 shots, what have you. So let's say you're going to hit your 7-iron 10 times, and then you're going to switch and you're going to go to your 5-iron, you're going to hit that 10 times, or you're going to hit 10 straight balls with a 7-iron, 10 draws, 10 fades, etc., etc. I think you get the point. So which one is better for you? And in my opinion, and through some of the people I've talked to who are world-class experts in the psychological aspect or the neurological aspect of how the brain and the body work and function together, both are necessary if you look or you're looking to improve. And it just depends, like everything in life, on the timing. So when you implement each particular session of block and or variable practice. And I've got a little station set up behind me that I use with a lot of my students that will allow them to utilize both of these to the fullest extent so that they can play to their potential. And let me give you an example. If you have a tournament coming up in, let's say, 8 weeks, and you're working with myself or you're working with another coach out there, your coach, there's a lot of good ones, and you want to make a modification to your swing, and you've got 2 months until this city championship, your collegiate NCAAs, you've got qualifying school for the PGA Tour, you got the Masters, whatever the tournament is, it's important to you. You can utilize to great efficiency both block and variable practice if you do them correctly. So let's just take it in 2-week segments. So you have 4 2-week segments. The first 2-week segment, you would work specifically in the block practice section. So as you can see, I have 2 sections of balls set up here. So if you're in the block section practice for 2 weeks, you would hit balls working on whatever the specific movement is that you and your coach have determined. So if you're working on getting your takeaway more down the line, or the face a little more square to your spine line, or maybe that it's too square and trying to get the face a little more open, whatever it is, you're going to work on that specifically as you hit balls in this block, okay? And you're going to do that every day that you go out to your practice session for 2 weeks. So you're going to take it back, you're going to check your face position, if that's what you're working on, you're going to go through your practice and you're going to hit your shots that way. The second 2 weeks, you would start to blend the block practice and the variable practice. So you would start to, let's say 60% of your balls will be in the block section, and you would, again, you check yourself as you had been doing, then you go through your swing process, and then what you would do in the variable block, which would be this side, was you would just go through your straight routine where you get back behind the ball, you tell yourself what shot shape you want to hit, you come in, and the only swing thought in your head is the shot that you're trying to hit. There is no thought about, well, am I taking it back to here, or whatever, again, that you're working on. If at any point in that process or your routine, your brain switches over to take the club back to this position, you have to back away and start over. You have to have the mental fortitude to pull yourself away, the mental strength to start over if you want to advance. This is one of the reasons that people find it so hard to advance in this game. Because you have 6 weeks prior to your event, it's not that important if you can hit the shots the way you want to in the block section, but you can't yet hit them in the variable section or the application section. Remember, we've got 6 weeks to work on this. So now, that was your second 2-week block. Your third 2-week block, you would go from 60% of your block practice where you are checking your positions, and 40% of your variable practice, now you're going to flip them. Now you're only working, let's say, up to 40% in block practice, and you're segueing over to implementing that practice with 60% or the majority of your practice is in the variable block. So now you're segueing into more application. And then let's say the final 2 weeks as you lead into the tournament, you're going to do probably upwards of 90% variable practice where you're working on all different shots, and you're only going back to, let's say, 10% in the block section so you can continue to check yourself. Now, why does this work so effectively? Block practice is exceptionally good at allowing you to mentally think consciously about what you're working on and making sure that you're able to make those changes so that they can become second nature, we'll call it, or whatever phrase you want to use. Variable practice is exceptionally important because it gets your brain into hitting shots, which is more of what you're going to need when you're out playing in your tournament. So it's not so much as just training the body and or just training the mind for play. It's a combination of both. And if you don't utilize both, you're going to put yourself at a deficiency to those who you're trying to compete against. So is block practice or is variable practice better? It depends on where you are in your modification of your swing and where you are with your game, which one you need and which dose you need it in. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have and you've utilized some of it, love to hear it down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And check out our Golf 360 podcast. It's one of the hottest podcasts in golf right now. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos or subscribe to our channel, you can do so right over here.